Man, um, what's going on, world? I'm give a few minutes before I start talking, just because I want to rant a little bit today. And I figure, why not practice talking in front of folks? If anybody's listening now, what's up? Anybody listening to the playback, what's up? This is not going to be anything of serious consequence. Salute Real Deal Financial. This is not going to be anything of incredibly serious consequence. I just felt the need to go live and talk a little bit because there are some things that are on my mind. And actually, now that you're here, Real Deal Financial, I think I'm going to try and stay in honor of what I generally talk about in terms of finances. Um, and I actually want to address something that one of my fellow content creators was talking to me about discussing. And that's my man's Chronicle. And, that's my brother in law. And he wanted me to address perfect time to salute what's going on, bro. He wanted me to address, and I guess it's new to him because, this was just within a couple months that he just got shot. Whereas for me, it's been over 10 years, so it's not fresh in my mind. But for my brother-in-law, he just got shot. So he nearly just lost it. Recently, nearly lost his life. And like he said, when he was in that hospital bed, all he could think about was his son. And I went and thought back to when I was shot and I was laying in that hospital bed and things were getting dark and it's a scary feeling, man. Like you just really be feeling like, is this what dying is about to be like? Like I'm really about to go. And he wanted me to talk about life insurance from the street perspective because most recently, I'm sure everybody saw this blood gang member who got murdered on Instagram Live. I think his name is Indian Red. So, homie got hit up on Instagram Live, right? Sitting there with his homie, they talking blah blah blah, yakety schmackety. Yeah, blood we this, hey blood we that. These niggas ain't bow 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 bow. No, right? It's sad, right? Now we realized that life insurance wasn't gonna bring him back. It ain't gonna bring him back. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, well, he should have had life insurance because that would have made him a bulletproof vest, because that'd be bullshit. And he's still gonna die from getting shot just from living that life. However, he could have had some life insurance so that more than she, in the event that that happens, yeah, bro was getting his music money, but those contracts, they don't account for so much stuff. Excuse me. You know, those contracts are like 360 deals, so you ain't really getting your money back or protecting your family. Most of that stuff isn't recoupable, and most of these guys don't own their masters. But let's talk about what life insurance is. It's dollar leverage. So when I see cats with the money phone to their ear, and I tell them, yo, you could put $500 a year away in a life insurance policy that'll guarantee you and your family get X amount of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like it 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 really can make an impact or a difference. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if like I said, if you're watching live or from the clouds or on the playback, I have a video that I released a couple days ago called Freestyle Friday, where I kicked some flow to Big Kick in the Door. I used to rap back in the day. And this one was literally a freestyle. I haven't freestyled in years, but I realized that I flipped some verses into literally what I did. I said something, I said, Clarice, for sure this. I done sniffed and sold the purest, but now I'm on the block selling insurance. And it's really something I would suggest you get. Bars, right? I'm speaking it from a perspective that is not touched, right? And I was watching a debate yesterday about creating generational wealth and what's better, life insurance or the 401k. Obviously, life insurance, but I realized that life insurance has been advertised to people absolutely wrong, and I understand why. See, people like me, licensed financial advisors, well, here's the thing. The product that's good for you, that's best for you, is the life insurance. And why do you think so many financial advisors want to make life insurance seem unattractive and the other products seem so much more attractive? Well, it's quite simple. We work off commission. So basically, the drug we sell or the product we sell is how we make dollars. We make $0 an hour. Okay, so any financial advisor you see who doesn't particularly work for a company like um, a Merrill Lynch or a Morgan Stanley, where they pay their advisors a salary, but an independent advisor, they're they're paid on straight commission. So with that, the financial products like a mutual fund or an investment, I don't have to worry about possibly not getting that commission or the commission changing. See, with those financial products, an investment or a mutual fund or ETF, stuff like that, even an annuity, which is an insurance product, but those products, all I have to do is get you to transfer the money, right? So the speed with which I get paid is much faster than a life insurance product, because a life insurance product can take 8 weeks to issue. So what that means is 8 weeks for the company to decide whether or not you get the policy from the company. So the whole time, the financial professional is waiting to be paid. So we'd much rather just say, hey, here, get this mutual fund. It's so much better because the moment you put the money in there, a week later, I get my paycheck on it. Whereas in selling life insurance, most of the time, we get paid once or twice a month off those policies. So realistically, somebody trying to gear you towards a product that's beneficial for you and not beneficial for them is them acting as a fiduciary. But again, the reality is, especially since the 1980s and the greed is good and the Wolf of Wall Street, and everybody done seen those movies. That stuff is real. They much rather get their commission real quick and be done with it. Like I said, man, I had 2 extremely good months last year. I had a $27,000 month and an $89,000 month. Those were both financial products. Those were both people's retirement accounts that I rolled over, right? And in those two accounts, it was real simple. It was real easy. The people didn't have to take any medical exams. We didn't have to chase down their doctors for medical records, none of that. You know what they did? They said, okay, here's the such and such. We called their company who had who their retirement account was with or their 401k was with, and We got them to issue the check. The check gets issued to the customer in the name of, at that time, the investment company we put the, the monies with. Um, Sometimes, again, as a fiduciary, they'll actually cut the check in my name. For example, the one with the $89,000, they cut that check in my name. So I had a check in my bank account for $89,000. But that's money I couldn't touch. Okay. And here's what's crazy. At that time that I put that $89,000 in my bank account, I was a month late on my rent. See, this shit's real because I get 100% commission. So, you know, let's see. I saw life insurance is better than for me than a mutual fund, and the latter is better for the advisor. So, in terms of what benefits the person best, I mean, it really depends. A mutual fund can be beneficial for you. All these products are going to, in some form or fashion, be beneficial for you. However, when it comes to commissions, first of all, size of commissions. Because if I sell you a investment grade product, there's different rules, right? If I sell you, well, excuse me, there's a difference. If I sell you an investment product, there's different rules. An investment grade product is another different product because there's investment grade life insurance, but I still get paid on investment grade life insurance like life insurance. But no particular product may be better for one person or the other. I guess you could say it's like the octane scale. It's different, and different products fit different needs for different people, and even at different times. But when it comes to the payout, generally it's more beneficial and easier for me, the advisor, to just get paid by selling you a financial product. I'll come in and sell you a term life insurance because it's quick, easy, and cheap. And generally, there's not medical exams. So I'll come in and hit you with a term product. I'll give you an example. I sat with a guy the other day, and I started my process. We came to the point that he needed about $10 million worth of life insurance. So whilst I was there, he had a friend with him who was an agent from Primerica. So he's like, "Oh man, listen, don't worry about this. I'm gonna go ahead and write him a $10 million 30-year term." And I was like, "Wait, that's cool, but that might not, completely help him." So I did again, like I've done before, and I'll do again here. I compared, and I realized I'm gonna have to change this, but um, it I compared the life insurance policies to different types of Mercedes Benzes. So all things the same, his age and everything the same in the quote. The amount of life insurance the same in the quote, $10 million death benefit. But I showed him a multitude of different types and premiums. So one of the types I showed him was a $10 million 30-year term, and that policy was $500 a month. I then showed him an investment grade index universal life insurance policy. That insurance premium was $36,000 a month. So you see how, and it's still the same. It was for the same guy. Nothing changed in the quote except for how much he paid into it per month because how much he was going to get out of it. So just like an A-class Mercedes starts at what, 32,000? An S-class Mercedes starts at 97,000. And we haven't even gotten into aftermarket parts or AMG upgrades. Thank you. It's options on your circumstance. Yes, so perfect. It's definitely options on your circumstance 5.0, but it's options on your circumstance. And when I say that, I mean depending on where you are, is going to be what you may need. Most people who get into investments, especially when it comes to Black folk, have no business getting in investing. Even business owners. Ironically enough, myself and Talani were talking about this a while ago. Um, Talani is one of the uh, financial representatives on my team, and I'm actually working on a schedule with her where we come and we do some content with y'all, because I think it's important that you get the aspect from um, multiple advisors, and we're actually younger. She's younger than I by almost 10 years. She's under 30. She's 28. So, and she does money management in terms of her licensure. She carries the Series 7. So a lot of it, man, she's been like upset because she's like, yo, how do you deal with it dealing with our people? And I'm like, you just gotta tough through it. And the reality is this, like, there's not a lot of people who really trying to help our people, right? So Peep Gang, back when I was at Mutual of Omaha in Manhattan, from back in like 2012, I used to have a lot of clients that lived in the Bronx and in Harlem, and all in the projects. And the reason I used to do that was because, well, number one, it's an underserved market. Like I said, I got shot 5 times in front of my mother, so I understand what it's like to be from the hood, and be underserved, right? And it's something, like I said, yo, it's difficult because I talk, the King's English, if you will, and everybody tells me I talk white in the hood. But then when I go to Wall Street, and I was on Wall Street, yo, it's some shit, some racist shit you really hear. Like, there used to be this one joke that they used to tell when I was a stockbroker at EJ Sterling on 139 Broadway. They used to be like, yo, hey, Bob. Hey, what's up, Jimmy? Hey, I got a good black joke for you. What's the difference between a black man and a pizza? I don't know, Jimmy, tell me. A pizza can feed a family of 4. And then they look at me and continue on about their day. And I was the one token Negro in the room, because there's only one Negro allowed in there at a time. You know what I'm saying? It's just real. But then, lo and behold, ironically, there was a black dude who got his stockbroker license and left and started his own shit. And he came in just to visit, see how they was doing. And I noticed what he was carrying. He was carrying a shopping bag, but it wasn't from like Macy's or Nordstrom or Lord and Taylor. Nah, this nigga had a Bergdorf Goodman bag. If you don't know what Bergdorf Goodman is, Google it. But I'll put it to you like this. When I was filming Person of Interest, yeah, I used to do TV and shit, but when I was filming Person of Interest, I think it's season 2, episode 1. It's whatever, but they shot up a mall. It's like the end of season 1, the beginning of season 2, and they shot up a mall. But the mall that we was in Bergdorf Goodman after hours on 59th Street. And then everybody's familiar with Bloomingdale's on 59th, but the money motherfuckers go to Bergdorf Goodman, like Kim Kardashian. Um, and yo, the cheapest item in there was a Tom Ford wristlet. Well, the cheapest item on the floor we was on was a Tom Ford wristlet, and this shit was 25K, 25 racks for a wristlet, my guy. That's bread. But anyway, so you know what I'm saying. So Lonnie was talking about how she's hard being a black advisor, whatever, and how did I get over dealing with, what I'm saying, our people? And I was like, yo, first of all, you gotta kind of not worry about our people at first. And that's a hard pill to swallow. And I had to realize it too. And I'm still going through it a decade in. I financially would be much further if I didn't solely focus on, helping, uh, helping in general, to be honest. If I came in there and showed my ass and treated motherfuckers like I wanted to scam them, I'd be a rich motherfucker. But I'm not a rich motherfucker because I actually want to help. And unfortunately, when you actually want to help, people look at that shit as it's too good to be true. Just like I said with the life insurance and the financial product, people are taught that the life insurance is too good to be true. For example, the compounding of interest is monthly on these policies. So people usually say, "No, they wouldn't do that. That'd be good to be too good to be true," because then people wouldn't do that, and then they wouldn't make money. But again, I show you a document that shows the banks put more money into cash value life insurance than they did into the stock market, to the tune of $3 billion in the stock market and $22.5 billion in cash value life insurance. That's like saying we gambling, right? And you gonna put money on me versus Mike Tyson, right? So you're gonna put way more money on Mike Tyson winning than you are on me. Yeah, now if I beat Mike Tyson, you're gonna get a hell of a payout. But I could train for the next 10 years. And Mike Tyson be like 69 years old. And I hop in the ring and he would knock me the hell out. And that's, in fact, if I get in the ring right now with Mike Tyson, I guarantee you, he could not throw one punch and he'd still knock me out. It's like they put money in the stock market to keep up the lie, but the real money comes from the life insurance. Facts. Life insurance is guaranteed, like me going into the you putting your money in life insurance is like you putting your money into Mike Tyson knocking me the fuck out. And you putting your money in the stock market is like you putting your money into me knocking Mike Tyson out. Now, don't get me wrong. If I knock Mike Tyson out and you put money into me knocking Mike Tyson out, even if you put $1 down, you're going to be a millionaire when I knock Mike Tyson out. But it's possible that I could knock Mike Tyson out, right? He might have the worst day ever, be drunk, back high on cocaine, high on crack, didn't sleep the whole night before, fought 4 tigers, didn't eat no food, is doubly dehydrated, got a broken leg, broken ankle, and glass in his eyes. Then I'm gonna knock Mike Tyson the fuck out. Plus, I got lead plates in my gloves. Right? Then I'm knocking Mike Tyson out. But if I get in the ring with Mike Tyson, he ain't even got to have trained. He just woke up this morning. It's like, I got to fight this nigga. All right, let's go. And I ain't got gloves on. And I get to throw the first 20 punches. And he get to throw one. He's a trained fighter. And he outweighs me by a couple of pounds. I'm only 140 pounds. But I could throw all the haymakers I want. You know what he going to do? You done? All right. Night, night. Bow. Buy stocks, 401k. Where would I be if I bought life insurance instead of all those 401ks I spent up? Well, those 401ks may not be going. Okay, I'll give you an example. November 2017, around Thanksgiving, my stepfather-in-law, I was talking about annuities with my brother, and my stepfather-in-law was looking at some stuff, and he was like, "Yeah, I got some money back from MONY, Bank of New York, but I left them in '97." I was like, "All right, so all things calculated, blah blah blah." He had about 30,000. I explained to him annuitized what that would be, about $238 a month in today's dollars. When he called the company, I was wrong. I was off by $2. He would have gotten $236 a month as opposed to $238 a month. However, I say all that to say this. Those old 401ks that you have are still in existence if you've left the companies, and they're just sitting there. Now, they may not have accreted or increased in value, but it's not likely that they decreased in value. They've just stayed stagnant. So, what you have the option to do is roll those over. Now, generally, what they will do is automatically send you a check if you don't make a decision within. Generally, they tell you 30 days, but often it's 90, that you're going to end up having to wait for them to give you uh, those funds. Um, Damn, man, I should have twisted this another one. Hold up, y'all. I gotta go grab me something to drink. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take y'all with me. I got my cell phone. So I'm also washing clothes while I'm at it. But yeah, nah, bro, those 401ks, like I said, obviously it's been more than 30 days since you've rolled them over, and that's all good. But in reality, um, you can always, if you leave a job, take that money or have it rolled over. And if it is rolled over into your next job's 401k, you can always put it into a private annuity. Um, but what I tell people to do is bank on it with life insurance. And shit, I ain't gonna get my water. Hold on. I ain't gonna get my water. But Dad, can you turn off the TV? Um, but yeah, so just water right quick. Gotta stay hydrated, man. It's very important. You know what I mean? I did get a soundboard, y'all, but I don't know how to use it yet. So I still can't do the bombs and stuff. But I will do the bombs and stuff eventually once I figure out how to use this whole soundboard thing I got. Because it's got like the gunshots and all that. Yeah, I got the bombs. You know what I'm saying? So now I want to be able to when you hop in, I'll be ooh, and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I got the noisemakers, just to make the show enjoyable. If not for anything, just for myself, because shit, I like to hear myself talk sometimes. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, it's definitely crazy to learn this shit. It's crazy to realize that most people don't know a lot of this shit. I'll give you another one. I had a client who worked for the uh, public school system, and I know that lady near retirement, and she was like, "Oh yeah, me and my CEO actually sat and talked with her, and while we was talking, she was like, "Yeah, we got retirement already," and I was like, "Oh, cool. You don't know what y'all have? This, that, and the third." And these are educated people. Obviously, they all have college degrees to be teachers, and nobody knew what they had. So it's odd, right? This is why uh, life insurance pretty much beats everything. I want everybody who's watching now or in the clouds to look at something called TIAA CREF, Teachers Insurance and Annuity Association. So that was created by a gentleman who disliked the money management fees that people got beat in the head with for having things like mutual funds, right? Like I said, 2 and 20 fees, which is 2% of your net worth and 20% of your capital gains in perpetuity, right? Whereas with life insurance, again, I'm also responsible for that commission for 13 months. So I'd much rather get you a product where, boom, you pay, I'm paid, I don't got to worry about nothing. With life insurance, the agent has to worry about you keeping that policy for 13 months. So if I sell you a policy today, right, my paycheck on that policy is dependent on you keeping that policy and not deciding I want to switch to Geico or not deciding, you know, this policy is too expensive, or if you miss a payment because times got hard and life happens, and you know, most people look at insurance as a bill, not as an asset. So you might miss a payment on it, right? So you miss a payment. Guess what? They consider lapse in your policy, and it's inside the first 13 months. They're gonna look at the agent and say, "Excuse me, sir, we need that $600 we paid you back," because that's how much about an agent would make if you spent $1,200 a year on the policy. You get about 50% of that, so they get about $600. So when you spend $20 a month, that agent makes $10 a month off of that for 13 months. Right? When you spend $100 a month, that agent makes $50 a month for 13 months. That's it. Right? Whereas with these larger financial products, you get a percentage of what you put in there. For example, the average annuity is a point of $50,000. The average annuity commission is 4%. The average retiree has, like I said, at least $50,000 in their 401k or their retirement account or money to put away. So they take that 50K, they put it in annuity. There's no waiting for your doctor's exam. There's no, you didn't qualify. You didn't tell us you had cancer, so we're not going to give you the policy. So the money that the agent was banking on is now not paid to him. Nope, it's just, all right, boom, here's that 50,000 to the financial institution. Financial institution cuts me a check for $2,000. If you cancel, if you decide to take your money away, it is what it is. They pay me my $2,000. I'm done. So why would I tell you to get something where my payment is variable? And my payment depends on you actually sticking to it. Nah, we want to make the other shit seem more attractive. Right? It's way more attractive to me to have you drop 50 grand, not ask no questions. I ain't got to worry about what your health is like. I'd be like, look, I don't care if you smoke. I don't care if you got cancer, because you got this actual $50,000 that you're about to put with this financial institution, and they're going to cut me a check for 4%, which is $2,000. Or you could buy this life insurance policy that's attached to the S&P 500. It's participating, so it pays dividend. It's also a death benefit and increase in cash value. It's attached to the S&P 500, and it's growing at a compound monthly interest rate of, let's say, 4%. Let's say you spend $100 a month on it, or let's say we actually properly overfund it and you spend $1,000 a month on it. I still get paid off of what's called the target. And if we set up the policy to be properly overfunded, the target premium is going to be, let's say, $100 a month. So I get paid off of the basis of $100 a month, which means I get $600. Basically, that's what an agent gets per policy. And you then get all that cash value of $900 per month, growing at a compound interest rate of 4%. But I have to make sure that you stick with it, and most people don't stick with it. There's a study that shows that Black people buy life insurance more than white people. We just buy it wrong. That's another reason why, especially in Black America, when creating generational wealth, we don't look at life insurance, but we look at getting a mortgage and getting a house and passing it down as generational wealth. How preposterous is that? That we think that we know we're gonna die, so we know that we need to leave something. So we say, okay, I'm gonna leave a house, but we don't realize that with a house, you're leaving a debt because shit, almost 10 times out of 10, nobody outlives their mortgage. If you look at the textbook definition of mortgage, it means payment till death. Mortgage. I'm sure we've all heard of the morgue or morbidity, but I digress. So we talk about leaving someone that house, and that house is a very large debt, and you generally don't pay it off. Most people refinance or sell within the first 7 to 10 years. By the time you get a house, most people are in their 50s by the time they actually purchase their first house. So they're obligated to a debt deep into their 80s, which is likely going to eat into their retirement. Most of the time, when you get a mortgage, you pay 3 times the amount of the loan because for the first 20 years, you're paying interest, and then the final 10 years, you're paying principal. Google an amortization schedule. That's literally what will show you exactly when, if you buy a house January 1st, 2020, January, 1st, 2037, you'll have paid this much. Hold on really quick. I have a call coming in. All right, so I'm back. Um, I had to deal with a little phone call right quick. Uh, but at any rate, where was I? Yeah, man, this shit is crazy, bro. Like this insurance shit is so much deeper. This damn light is done. But yeah, man, dealing with this life insurance just for passing on generational wealth versus leaving a house. Again, you check that amortization schedule and you're paying principal upfront. So you end up paying three times what you borrow. Whereas when you are dealing with a life policy, you're actually accumulating that. Just like you do equity in the house, right? Now, here's the thing with that life policy, yeah, it's like the first couple years you lose equity, right? But just like when you buy your house, your first few years, generally like your first 3 to 5 years, you really have no equity. So an argument can be, well, I can't touch the life insurance until it builds some cash value, which is usually about the same 3 to 5 years. But then once it catches up and you're past that loss, it ends up damn near paying you for having life insurance. Depending on how that's set up, it can take it, and it will show you between 10 and 20 years, and it'll show you the exact year where the cash value and what you paid in catches up to what you've accumulated, and where what you accumulate starts to surpass what you put in. But yeah, man, it's it's definitely a deep rabbit hole because there is a lot of dynamic to the way these things are set up and the way that they're sold to people. So again, like I said, back when I was in New York, um, they I used to sell to a lot of people in the projects because of a lot of the racist stuff that was going on. Like I said, the joke of, what's the difference between a black man and a pizza? A pizza can feed a family of four. They used to tell jokes like, hey, there were two neighbors standing outside, and one of them said to his neighbor, "Hey, Bob, I can't get these black kids, to stop hanging in my front lawn." So his neighbor said to him, "Well, why don't you cut them down?" Pretty fucked up, right? But these are the things we have to hear, and then we come back to the hood and get called Uncle Tom and sellout when we trying to actually help niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then our own people call us turncoats and sellouts. My G, like, what you want me to do? You want me to jump out the window and ape slap this white dude and go to jail and not be able to provide for my family and fall into the stereotype of angry black man or that bullshit? Or you want me to rise above that and show that there's another way, right? I want to do that. Damn. So, you know, I found it interesting that a lot of this stuff be against crazy odds, you know? And Jay keep going out. I might start doing these late night too. I'm gonna start going live a little more random. And I think it's therapeutic for everyone involved, especially because you get to get a unique perspective of things. Um, and I think that's useful. In fact, I think I'm gonna do another special pre-record for y'all, um, just because um, I want, as my newer followers come in, uh, to be able to understand my story and where I'm coming from, and why life insurance is important. And I try to mention this all the time, and I think about it now, and I'm like, wow, now it's an old situation. It's more than 10 years old. Whereas for my brother, he just got shot, about a week ago. But realistically, um, it's fresher in his head, right? But then what's really fresh? Indian Red getting shot on Instagram Live and dying in front of your face. Ain't life insurance something you want to think about, man? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, I also tell the story of my uncle Paul Hall, who here in New Haven, Connecticut, was famous. And when he died in '96, his dance theater, the Paul Hall Contemporary Dance Theater, was second in the country to Alvin Ailey Dance Theater. And on his deathbed, I was about 12 years old, and my two cousins were about 12, 13. And on his deathbed, he pulled out of his pocket the last $3 he had. Ironically enough, it was $3. Um, and he gave us each a dollar. And he was dying from AIDS in the '90s. And I remember that I didn't know he was going to die that day. I took the dollar, put it in my pocket, left the hospital, went to my friend's house and played Sonic. Later that day, the family got together. I didn't understand. I was 12 years old. Everybody's crying. This was a guy who was locally famous. And just like a lot of people, well, unfortunately, back then, we didn't have GoFundMe. But just like a lot of people, he was he was getting to that bag, but he didn't prepare for the eventuality that he was gonna die. So he had a bunch of stuff that we had to sell off to pay for his funeral. And because of his notoriety at the time, we were able to afford it. But not nearly the funeral that, you know, a lot of people felt he should have had, or the amount of fame and notoriety that he had had here. If you've heard of New Haven, Connecticut, and the Yale Repertory Theater, and Schubert, Long Wharf, and all of these things that are right next to New York City that basically, all the Yaleys go to. Obviously, you've heard of Yale. So there's money here, obviously. But all these years later, what we got is that $1 to remember about. My cousin, she still has the $1. She kept it as a keepsake. I was 12 years old. I probably brought some now laters with it. You know what I mean? But that happens. It's you live and you learn. So my man's perfect timing is saying buy stocks, 401k. Where would I be if I bought life insurance instead of all those 401ks I spent up? Well, here's the thing. You might be in the same position. And why do I say that? Well, just because you buy life insurance doesn't mean that you've bought it properly, or that it is what you've needed. You know, um, a lot of people, for example, my principal agent and I disagree. We'll sit with clients and he'll be like, don't present them life insurance. They don't need it. And I disagree. Everybody needs life insurance because it's part of life planning. See, he's thinking, oh, well, they don't have no wife and kids. They don't need no life insurance. They don't got a house. I'm like, yes, but you're looking at it for the leaving thing aspect. What about the building and the accumulation that life insurance does faster than the bank account? Well, what is he thinking? He's thinking of selling you a securities product so he doesn't have to worry about you qualifying for it or the commissions, being tied up. Then there's even things worse like delivery, because once you are approved for the insurance policy, the insurance company wants to make sure that you keep it. So within 30 days of them issuing it, the agent has to make sure you sign the document saying, okay, I accept this policy. Otherwise, the insurance company cancels the policy, sends you your money back, and takes the money they paid the agent back. So you will have a dude chasing you down for 30 days, like, yo, you need to sign this, cuz. All right, that's all I'm gonna have to know. No, but it's hectic. You know what I mean? I think I'm gonna have my men's up here again one of these days. Um, but I want to have a few other people up here. Like I said, I'm gonna bring Talani up because I want you guys to see her perspective as well, as a younger person, right? And to understand that there's people. I got into this business at the age of 27, right? So right before we're 30, we're getting into this business, into this industry, and we're looking to actually help our people, because when we learn so many things about this industry, we want to come and show y'all and teach y'all. It's just like when you encourage, excuse me, when you encourage your kid to do Pop Warner, right? Well, this financial stuff is very important. I used to go to the Barclays Center to the NBA draft to try and help these young boys and become their financial advisor. Now I haven't landed anyone who's become an NBA player, or anybody who's actually gotten into the G League yet. Most of the guys that I've ended up running into have been just not made the cut yet, and just been regular guys. But I still am actually going to start going back to the draft once stuff opens up, because it's right there at the Barclays Center, and it's real easy to run into, the next John Morant, or the next Giannis, who's some lanky kid, and then becomes the Finals MVP. But um, a lot of these dudes don't even accept a financial advisor. Look at Melo. Melo said he didn't accept a financial advisor. Why is that? Because a lot of these are old, stuffy white dudes in suits, and they don't relate to Melo with tattoos, braids, and a neck full of chain, right? But I'm gonna come in, you damn son, you shining. Oh, now let me speak to you about this financial. Let me cold switch on you right quick. Hey, hold up, y'all. I got another. All right. Um, we here. She what it do? So, um, damn, where was I? Um, I got a phone call in the middle of what I was speaking about, and now I forgot where I done got knocked off topic. Shit, it be like that. But salute to everyone in the building. Yeah, I was talking about that 401k. So with that 401k, man, yeah, even though you spent it up, man, listen, I did the same thing when I left Macy's. I had what? I had a small, I was only with Macy's for like a couple years, maybe 2 years before I actually left them and got into the financial services. And when I was with Macy's, I had a 401k with Merrill Lynch. And over the couple of years, I was making good money at Macy's, actually. I was pulling in about $1,000 a week. Um, that was based on commissions. Um, the base salary was $8 an hour. But because I worked in furniture and mattresses, you got commission on top of that shit. So it was nice. Um, NBA players not relating. Yes. So, they be young and not relate. It's actually funny you say that. I just tweeted Lonzo Ball. And he was confused at what I said to him because I was like, "Oh, Lonzo Ball meet Lonzo Hall, the All-Star advisor." People get us confused. And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, my name is Alonzo Hall, and I'm the All-Star advisor. And people generally, when I introduce myself, since you've come out, confuse us and call and be like, what did you say your name is Lonzo Ball?" And I say, "No, my name is Alonzo Hall." So he's like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." So I've been campaigning actually. Hopefully, he gets back into the Lake Show with LeBron. That would be banging because I thought Lonzo was better than Kuzma anyway. Kuzma is trash. Um, but so Melo didn't have someone to relate to, and I can much more relate to them just from where, their walk of life. Even if it's coming from the inner city, or even that we share the same skin tone, or even the fact that we're near the same age range. Because if you look at Wall Street, for example, your average money manager is in his 60s, right? If you're in your 30s on Wall Street, you're considered wet behind the ears, right? Because Wall Street is old money. Look at Warren Buffett. Right? Warren Buffett is 906, but we still, you know, follow behind him, right? Because he's a financial guru. Look at T. Boone Pickens. Look at Donald Trump. Look at all these. Look at Bloomberg. Look at Mitt Romney. Um, these are old guard money people, right? Now, if you look at our money in the black community, it's new money. That's why it's flashy and it's showy offy, right? But then I talk to, a lot of these pro-blacks about life insurance, and they be like, "Nah, I don't believe in life insurance." Da 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 da. And I'd be like, "Yo, that's crazy. How you say something like that, but then you talk about the pharaohs and Kemet, right? And what do you think the pharaohs and Kemet leaving pyramids and gold and all this money for the afterlife was? Well, that's life insurance, right? It's called something else back then. They just called it what? Ramesses' treasure. um, Kofi's tomb, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so where'd I put my lighter thing? So they call it stuff like that. But at the end of the day, man, listen, it's life insurance. That's why those tombs got raided, right? That's why where the hell did I put my lighter? Okay. So that's why those tombs got raided. And you know, because they love life insurance. But yeah, man, dead ass. These young NBA players and NFL players. I got to get to Chicago to get to the Radio City Music Hall in Chicago to get to the NFL draft. But these young players, man, could come in and they get huge contracts. And then they shun life insurance or the flashier investment option. And then they get raked over the coals. And that's how they end up broke. Like, what's the dude who played for the Celtics? Antoine Walker, I think. The boy had to do. I can't think of his name right now, but they always say, "Oh, gambling got them broke," but a lot of that be, bad investments. Somebody told him to get into this real estate venture, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, get into this real estate. Nah, it ain't as easy as you think. Even when you got the money, it's not as easy as you think. It ain't just, oh, I got a bunch of money, I buy this piece of real estate, now it starts generating income. That ain't how it works. That's not how any of this works. You know what I'm saying? I realized sometimes you got to lead with your resume. My first listing in real estate was $14.6 million. That's the reason I got my real estate license, because I realized, holy shit, even at a 1%, that commission is still nearly $250,000. And the higher you go in that world, the lower the commission percentages become. Average commission is 6%, so that you can split it 3%, 3%, and then the agent has to split it 50-50 with his broker, so he gets 1.5%. So, for example, if the house is $1 million, or let's do the house is $100,000, the commission is $6,000. $3,000 goes to the buying agent, $3,000 goes to the selling agent. $1,500 of that goes to the buyer's agent broker. $1,500 of that goes to the seller agent broker. And then the buyer's agent gets $1,500 and the seller's agent gets $1,500. And then they both got to pay taxes on that. Right? But anyway, as I'm talking about the NBA player going broke. So all these additional fees and commissions they got to pay, right? So you got to pay your sports agent like 20%. Then, like I said, your financial advisor, he's going to put you into, a shitty mutual fund if he's with like Primerica or something, right? And then you're going to pay 2 and 20 fees. So 2 and 20 fees may seem minuscule when you have little to no net worth. That's generally why you don't get charged those fees by those people, because you're not worth enough. I've done net worth analysis with people who own houses, and then they're like, oh, I got, I'm good. I own a house and I got an income property. And then I'm like, well, you're only worth X amount of dollars. And they're like, what? And I'm like, well, if we calculate your assets and we calculate your liabilities, you're actually underwater. So you have these things, but those debts and obligations actually, we call it house poor. Which is not a bad position to be, right? People call house poor like it's a bad thing, but house poor is very much not a bad thing. House poor is actually an accomplishment. We just got to stop looking at things in a negative way. But anyway, so Antoine Walker, I think is the name, right? So you paying all these fees, like I said, 2 and 20. So he's paying 2% of his net worth. Now, if he's getting, these $60 million contracts, well, his net worth just went way up. So he's paying somebody, $5-6 million a year because he did business with him 2 years ago. And bought a mutual fund. The mutual fund ain't performing. He don't quite know that. All he know is him and his homeboys keep saying AMC to the moon, and his financial advisor told him that one of the ETFs that he has them in, or one of the mutual funds that he has them in, has some of AMC. He doesn't understand that it's a portfolio of stocks compiled together, and that the percentage of AMC it has that's in that stock is 0.3% of the fucking entire ETF. So of the $1,700 you got with them, only like 43 cents is going to AMC. Now, yeah, it's going up, but the other issue is you have to understand the ascension and descension, or accretion and decrease, of the value of your shares. And what is that? Well, the reality is this: until there's a transaction, there's no profit or loss. So what that means is, until you sell your shares of XYZ or buy more shares of XYZ, there's really no change. When you're, oh man, I'm up $1,000. It's kind of, but you have to transact while you're up $1,000 and actually earn that $1,000, and that's a taxable event. Now, if you're an accredited investor, that taxable event is softer, but realize you earned $1,000 in the stock market. You have a financial advisor who helped you, did an unsolicited trade. So you told him you wanted to invest in AMC. He put your money in AMC, and you earn $1,000. Well, because you're not an accredited investor, you're not going to get taxed at capital gains tax on your earnings. You're going to get taxed at regular income tax. So let's say you're in a 33% tax bracket. So they're going to take $330 off the top. Then you have the fact that you have to pay your 2 and 20 fees. So your 20 fees is 20% of your capital, of your gain. So you gained $1,000, 30% of that, or 33% of that, because you get taxed at capital, at regular income tax, which is 33%, instead of capital gains, which is 20%. Well, income tax can be anywhere from 28 to, I think, 39 at this point. So average is about 33%. So that's 33. Then 20% to your advisor. So that's 53%. So $530 just got taken. So you come home with $470. Hey, it's still a win. But what if you could have gotten that pure profit and not pay taxes? Well, there's a way that can be done. When I re-edit this video, my information will be in the description. You can schedule an appointment to explore your options. But the reality is you have to go through a discovery session, because a lot of people already have these products. And I hear that all the time. I already have it. You already have one life insurance policy. I know dudes with 4 Chargers and Dodge Durango, but be like, I have one life insurance policy. I'm good. Nigga, what you got? 4 Dodge Challengers, the Dodge Durango, the Scat Pack. Oh, well, you know, you got to have the Scat Pack, and the 17 came with the extra Hemi, so you got to have the extra Hemi. And then wonder why you broke. Like, you can't actually afford to have all them V's.
Like you hiding them from the repo man. You parking in different places and shit. You ain't insuring them at the same house. See, the wealthy, they gonna have several life insurance policies as well as other products, investment products and stuff. I'm not saying not to get them, but if you're gonna get them, put yourself in the proper position, right? So then the wealthy people can actually afford to get the 2017 with the Scat Pack, etc., etc. I'll give you an example. My homeboy is an exterminator. He sprays houses for ticks, etc. in like upstate New York, deep New Jersey, and wealthier areas of Connecticut. And he was telling me about one of his clients who I told him, I was like, yo, get me in front of this dude. He's like, yo, this dude got money. He was born in like 1993. And he has some particular BMW, but he has every model of every year from the year he was born through today. And they're all parked on his front lawn. And he's got policies and shit out the wazoo because his dad left him millions of dollars in life insurance and a trust fund and a bunch of other things. But he was able to because he had an inheritance left to him. But anyway, listen, man, I'm about to get off of this and go have me some lunch. So remember, wipe ass, work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass, work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass, work in progress every day and see success. And remember, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute.